This is a dead body. Well, not a real one, but imagine it is, in a home where we should all feel safe. But here's the thing, deaths like this happen way more than we think, and the worst part, nobody talks about it. Alright, hold up, I'm not here to scare you. This isn't some horror movie. Maybe it should be. Moving on. In fact, deaths at home are way less common than, say, heart disease. But here's why I did make this video. A lot of these deaths, totally preventable. Even ChatGPT agrees. I mean, heart disease is kind of preventable too, but let's be honest. Convincing people to stop eating chicken sandwiches every day is way harder. I get it. But not only are these deaths preventable, they're easily preventable. So what are we talking about here? Take a look at this chart. It's a list of things that can kill you in your home. Oh, I know, the drama. You know, the place where you're supposed to feel safest. So things like fires. Yeah, that makes sense. Bad wiring, candles, space heaters, sure. Then there's drowning. You probably think, oh, pools, lakes. Nope. Bathtubs and showers are a big problem too. Okay, that makes sense too. Then there's poisoning. This doesn't include overdosing, which is a big problem as well, but poisoning mostly from household cleaners and medications, stuff like that. Do you remember those yuck stickers? Oh yeah, genius.
Home is full of lots of things that children shouldn't touch.
But one thing on this list is bigger than all the rest, and it's surprising. Falls. Yep, just falling over is the leading cause of accidental deaths. We're talking stairs, ladders, slippery floors, bathrooms. It's everywhere. Every year, over 8 million people go to the ER because of a fall, and more than 30,000 die from it. Let that sink in for a minute. Okay, so falls are happening everywhere. They're deadly, they're easy to prevent, yet they claim more lives than anything else in their homes. I mean, how is this seriously a problem? Let me give you an easy solution. It can be all solved with one simple thing: design. More specifically, universal design. And I can prove it to you. Okay, I know I'm totally a design dork, but hear me out. Universal design is exactly like it sounds. Designing things so they work for everyone. Here's the deal. When we design for people with disabilities and unique needs, something awesome happens. We actually make things better for everyone. Okay, as a designer, I literally feel like a broken record, but every time I share this, it seems like we just found the Holy Grail. Come on, people, it's not rocket science. During World War II, there was a guy named Alphonse Japanese. Anyway, he wasn't a designer yet, I could argue, but a psychologist. He figured something out. Airplane cockpits were killing pilots. But why in the world was that? Well, because the controls weren't obvious, it turns out. Pilots were crashing just because they chose the wrong controls and didn't know it. All the controls and knobs looked and felt the same. So give someone a high pressure situation, put them in front of like 100 buttons, and ask them to pick the right one, and then tell them not to crash? Oh, and do all that in the dark? Yeah, bad things are gonna happen. Sometimes design seems so obvious. Anyway, that guy fixed it by making similar controls obviously different, down to the very shape and how it felt. And suddenly, pilots weren't crashing anymore. Now, what do planes falling out of the sky have to do with falling down the stairs? Maybe that's too much. Well, imagine if our homes were designed in the same way to fit everyone in more obvious ways. Now get this, the solutions already exist in our homes. We just need to design our homes to be safer from the start. Things like non-slip flooring, so your socks don't turn your hallway into a slip and slide. Wider doorways for wheelchairs, walkers, and just to carry too many grocery bags. You know we all do it. Handrails, because balance is the thing, and safer stairs because, well, gravity. Here's the wild part. These changes are cheap and easy, so why aren't they standard? Well, because nobody cares. Just kidding. Because the people who can make these changes aren't making them. But why? It's not about ignorance. Builders know universal design works. But home builders are focused more on speed and cost. If they're not required to add universal design, they won't do it. I mean, why would they? I totally get it. They need to stay competitive because the next home builder won't do it. So that's where things like government regulation comes in. And some countries already figured this out. Crazy, I know, right? In Singapore, universal design is the law. Every home is built to be accessible for children, seniors, people with disabilities, and everyone else. And guess what? In the US, the fall-related death rate is 18.3 out of 100,000 people. Okay, that seems pretty low, but get this. Singapore's is 0.34 per 100,000 people. 0.34. Whoa, I know that's nuts. That's over 50 times more deaths from falls in the US. So what can we do? First, we need to demand better. If you're renovating or building a home, ask for universal design. Safety shouldn't be optional. The next thing that should happen is government policy change. We should learn from Singapore. All home builders need to be required by code to make the same changes. Level the playing field so that there's space to do it for every home builder. If it's required everywhere and everyone does it, we'll start to see positive change over time. It won't happen overnight, obviously, but it'll get better. And it's a pretty cool thing, right? All thanks to design. So please leave a comment about what you found interesting, and next you might find this video interesting. I highly recommend it. And oh, don't forget to subscribe.